Welcome to Greavsie's 6 of the Best, where we focus on Everton. The 6 matches we've selected are from the club's most successful period in their history, the 1980s. During this time, Everton won the European Cup Winners' Cup and the League Championship in 85 and 87, getting the better of their Merseyside rivals Liverpool. 86 saw a reversal when they were runners-up to the Reds. 3 FA Cup final appearances in succession though. 84 they took the trophy, 85 when the double was oh so near, and again in 86. The matches on this video, however, are from the league, and it highlights what prolific goal scorers the Toffee men were, with 20 goals scored in the next hour. Sit back and enjoy. It's 82 and Manchester United are at Goodison.
Here's Irvine, Ainscough ahead of him, and Heath. Came to Ainscough, and back for Irvine again. And Bailey having to make sure the near post as Heath came in from Irvine's cross. McMahon reading the pass, Sharp is onside, it was Duxbury who gave it away. And here's McMahon. It's a corner. United in trouble of their own making, really, as the ball was given away by Duxbury initially. McMahon took it up and kept running, and Bailey just blocked it behind. It's a great deal of movement ahead of Wilkins, but he picks out Stapleton, nicely down for McGarvey, and that shot was on target. And Moses was impeded. And a free kick to Manchester United in a central position, right on the edge of the Everton area. And United set a wall of their own with McGarvey and Moses to try and help in the unsighting of Southall. It's Koppel who strikes it and scores! An important goal for Manchester United. The free kick taking a deflection of Trevor Ross. "32 minutes gone, and a well-rehearsed free kick by Manchester United, aided by a touch from the wall as well. And Moran into the back of Sharp yet again. Higgins flicks it on, Lyons was in there, it'll reach Heath, and then Lyons, and Sharp, it's in! Graham Sharp will take the credit. The goal starting from the first free kick taken by Burrows. Higgins flicked it on, Lyons diverted it towards Heath, and then reacted quickly to get the cross in himself as the ball ran loose. Sharp headed it, and it went in off Moses. Koppel, now on the right. Taking on Ratcliffe, still Koppel, beautifully done, brilliant goal! Or Koppel taking on Ratcliffe, turning him this way and that, past the second defender and catching it just right on the left foot. And Irvine is onside, and Everton massing in numbers in the middle, and Duxbury stepped in a timely manner for Manchester United. Corner played short to Burrows. The crowd urging him to play it in. And Lyons made contact. And Lyons again! Everton come back a second time. And Mike Lyons, having made the first, scores the second. His first header looped the ball up, Sharp got it back, and the volley was precision. And Manchester United lose a lead for the second time. With 10 minutes of the second half played. Foul against Wilkins, who protests that his shirt was being pulled. Heath gives chase. And Manchester United again punished for some uncertainty in the air in their back four in front of Gary Bailey. Goodman. Here's Koppel. Or can he do a trick a third time for Manchester United? The chance comes for Grimes. And it's in. Ashley Grimes. And look at the way they run to congratulate him. A player who's had such a terrible time, first with injury and then with illness. Robson found him in acres of space. It was a bit of a slice from Grimes, but it defeated Southall. Throw given to United. Garvey offside again. Sharp covered a lot of ground to reach the free kick. Here's Ainscough. United uncertain at the back again, but they got away with it then, as Ainscough just rolled it across the face of the goal. In fact, yeah, United have been much more effective when they've gone forward in numbers. And they will be better advised trying to add to their lead rather than sit on it. Koppel. And McGarvey frustrated. Sharp, cleverly guiding it for Heath. Oh! Well, can this game have any more twists? Adrian Heath from 30 yards. Sharp knocked it down for him, and Bailey was beaten really by the bounce of it.
6 goals in that one, and we stay at Goodison, but now it's 1985 for the visit of Watford.
Blissett and Taylor, who sprang forward, you may remember, on a couple of occasions in the cup final with good strikes at goal. Rostron. Almost a case of scrum down. Rostron was holding the ball, and the referee will now drop it between Blissett and Peter Reid. And Stevens miscuing the clearance. Blissett. Trying to turn Reed. Reed coming in from an angle that was almost automatically going to lead to a free kick to Watford. From a promising position. Callahan to take it. Barnes, off the bar, Blissett! It was the back header by John Barnes. Callahan's free kick, very much in the Watford style, looking for the player coming in at the near post. Southall was beaten out off the bar. Stephen, now Reed. Terry going across and Sharp off the post, and finally away by McLennan, and Bracewell snatched at the opening that really he shouldn't have been allowed to have. First of all, Everton will feel that they should have scored, because Peter Reed got a good angle here to cut the ball back. And Sharp couldn't quite work it inside that post. Coton was scrambling. McLennan could have given it to the goalkeeper, gave it straight to Bracewell, who was wild in his finishing attempt. Gilligan pushing into Derek Mountfield, who will remember well Mountfield, the 5-4 win at Watford earlier this season. He scored for both sides in that game. Stephen, and here's Sharp, and here's Sheedy, and Coton couldn't get there, and Terry was the last line of defence. Deserved the pat on the back. Incisive work from Trevor Stephen. Sharp opted to use Sheedy. The shot was mishit by Sheedy standards. The deflection beat Coton. Stephen. Vanden Hauw, again denying Everton space. Bracewell, Stevens, into the feet of Reed. A lovely dummy on Barnes. Almost a case of the bite a bit. John Barnes has done that often enough to opponents. Peter Reed twisted into the dummy. Barnes just came up with the answer, but it's cost Watford a corner. Coton paws it away, only as far as Reed. Sheedy had got back onside. Gray, and Coton did well. Gray's header taking a deflection, but it just won't go in for him at the moment. The Everton players well aware of the other values of Andy Gray, apart from scoring, but they'd love to see him put the ball in the back of the net. Vanden Hauw out by Sinnott. So close for Andy Gray, who climbed characteristically, and Coton got a hand to deny Gray the goal. Sharp. Bracewell wasn't going to come second, although the odds were against him. Sheedy. Bracewell involved again. And Stephen meeting the cross, and Gary Stevens, and the deflection, cruel for Watford and Coton, but the First Division top scorers have finally found a way through, and they needed a bit of luck to do it. 11 minutes into the second half, Gary Stevens reflects on his good fortune, but Paul Bracewell had played such a big part in setting up the goal. In the end, looped over Coton. But it's Gary Stevens' goal, and he's on the score sheet just as he was in the FA Cup tie last week against Doncaster. So the challenge now laid down to Watford. They have contained well enough until a moment of misfortune, and Blissett. He didn't know that Southall was coming. because Luther Blissett had his eye on the ball as it came in, and Southall, I think, gambled a little to go for it, and the gamble paid off. Stevens, off goes Sharp. Stevens aims for Andy Gray. Watford get bodies around Gray. Bracewell. Stevens. Gray has stolen a yard here on Terry. Bracewell. Well played. Stevens. He's got another. And once again, Bracewell was involved. Tony Coton had no chance. Would have barely got a sight of the ball as it sped through a crowded area in front of the goalkeeper. Great. Reed. Pass perhaps telling Stevens where he might have been. It's a little infield on that occasion. Much more verve about Everton now. Bracewell. Gray left it. Sheedy! Oh, yes! Sweet as you like. But an indication of a much more relaxed Everton approach, having gone 2 in front. And again, admire Paul Bracewell. He left John McClelland, and Andy Gray, who might have been tempted to go for the cross himself, let it run, presumably on a call from Sheedy. And what a perfect view of almost the perfect goal. And here is the scorer of it. So with 20 minutes remaining, Everton lead by 3 goals to 0. His name taken. He left a foot in after Stephen had taken the ball past him. Not quite the impact coming on that I think Jan Lohmann would like to be remembered for. I can forgive him determination to be back in the thick of the fray. He's missed 15 months with a knee injury. Sharp. Stephen took it on the chest, and Coton couldn't keep it out. So he can't be that badly hurt. It's 4-0. And Coton now, in the second half, is going through the nightmare, though little blame can be attached to him that he went through at Vicarage Road in his Watford debut back in September when Everton scored 5. Sharp won it well. McClelland's stretch wasn't enough, nor was Coton's reaction to a close-range effort from Stephen.
Watford went south and the championship was taken, and Gary Lineker made an 800,000 move from Leicester, north.
Well, a couple of years ago, Eric Nixon walked into Manchester City and asked for a trial. He'd been rejected by a couple of other league clubs. He's been a worthy deputy this season for the injured Alex Williams. Trevor Stephen, and Sharp chases on, and it was Powell's back pass which Lineker has turned into a very costly error indeed. You can't take chances like that when Gary Lineker is around, and Paul Power didn't see him. Sharp as attack. Everton 1, Manchester City 0, 5 minutes gone. Sharp and McCarthy both misjudging. Stephen, and almost catching Nixon by surprise. The goalkeeper did well to hang on. Poynton initially aiming for Sharp. but both he and McCarthy came underneath the ball. Stephen twisting quickly, and it needed the save. Phillips. Now Lillis. And for Phillips again, neatly constructed, and Davis! How did he not score? He doesn't know. But Manchester City know that a real opportunity has passed them by, and the approach work certainly deserved the goal. But Davis arriving inside the 6-yard area, it needed only a decisive piece of contact, but he could only stumble the ball into Southall. The referee's got to keep a close watch on this particular contest between Sharp and McCarthy. It's McCarthy who's being spoken to here. Everton have another free kick. McCarthy this time shrugs Sharp aside, but this is Bracewell, and Nixon got his hands to it at full stretch. A snapshot really through a congested area, and Everton have had to use their substitute. Kevin Richardson is on for Kevin Sheedy. But Everton have the 1-goal lead in this significant match at the top of the Cannon League, given to them by Gary Lineker after 5 minutes. Everton back in action after an idle weekend, but it was a good weekend for them, with Chelsea losing at home, and the result really that everyone at Goodison Park wanted at Anfield when Liverpool were held by Manchester United. And a mistake by Reid. Lineker, an astonishing goal. Nicky Reid trod on the ball. Gary Lineker proves the value of chasing on even when the cause seems hopeless. And it must have seemed hopeless to him here when Redmond a little tentatively prodded the ball away from Lineker, and Reid trod on the ball. Lineker reacted, and Everton lead 2-0. And Manchester City caught absolutely cold. 2 goals from individual errors from 2 long-serving players at the club. Paul Power gave away the first one, and Nicky Reid the second. Both chances snaffled by Gary Lineker, who now has 28 goals this season and is on a hat-trick. Lillis. So the disappointment of losing Kevin Sheedy again with an aggravation of an old injury, knee ligaments. That's forgotten as Lineker senses his 3rd goal. Nixon could only beat it out. He's already got 1 hat-trick for Everton against Birmingham City, and of course a hat-trick for England this season against Turkey. Stephen. Poynton can deal with the danger here, but on a night of defensive mistakes, as we've seen, nothing can be taken for granted. Gary Stevens. Well, Lineker, a splendid example for all strikers. Follow in whenever possible. Stephen. And Nixon saw it late. Good handling from Eric Nixon. Trevor Stephen letting fly on the left foot. Nixon's a big man, 6'3", 14.5 stone. He dropped quickly then. Here's Richardson. And Power filling the gap between Stephen and Sharp. The danger not yet over for Manchester City. And Nixon tips over inevitably from Lineker. It may be a cold night, but Gary Lineker is warming the Evertonians. And here, the fingertips of Eric Nixon. Bracewell and Stephen doing the plotting at the corner. And it was Redmond who sailed underneath the cross. His family are here in force with some mixed feelings. Some of them are Evertonians. Poynton. Peter Reid's return to fitness will add to Bobby Robson's options when he selects his Mexico squad. McCarthy just did enough. City at the moment having to cope with an aerial bombardment. This time at the corner, Pat van den Hauwe waiting with Paul Bracewell in the near post area. And that was Sharp, and that's Bracewell, and that's Lineker, and it's wide. It could only have been an instinctive touch. But with so much going for him tonight, he'd have really backed it to end up in the back of the net. Manchester City all over the place. Bracewell shot off target, Lineker reacting again. Lineker is onside. It's the hat-trick. City can only hang their heads at the back again. They've been outmanoeuvred by a top-class predator around the opposing goal, who's having a splendid night. Nixon off his line, clinically chipped. It's Everton 3, Manchester City 0. 12 minutes into the second half. All 3 goals for Gary Lineker. His second hat-trick for Everton. As I say, a snip at £800,000. Bracewell. Here's Richardson, who's slotted in as the good squad man that he is. Stevens. It's a rampant Everton now. Stephen. It's Sharp at the far post. It's Richardson. And again, an incredible sequence. Nixon and fellow defenders denying Sharp, and then Richardson twice. Manchester City reeling. This time Lineker involved as part provider. Sharp unattended, Nixon kept that out. Here's Richardson, blocked by the goalkeeper again. Fantastic work by Eric Nixon. Stephen wanting to take on Power, who was only wanting himself to retreat. This is Sharp, 4-0, and Sharp has earned his. And again, Manchester City found wanting in defence. "14 minutes left, and Redmond took one touch too many. Sharp punished him.
A hat-trick there for Lineker, but what can he do a week later in the pressure cauldron of Anfield?
Reed. The onus very much on Liverpool to go for the victory here and cut the gap. A draw would suit the Everton cause, and a terrible mix-up between Lawrenson and Grobbelaar, and Lawrenson somehow has redeemed it because Richardson couldn't recover his balance when the goal was gaping. Now, I wonder here whether the concern in protecting the goalkeeper's injury led to this extraordinary episode. Grobbelaar came, Lawrenson touched it, Richardson was down, it seemed a certain goal for Everton, but Lawrenson wrapped his foot round the ball and got it to safety. Well, Mark Lawrenson had to make up so much ground, and now it's the hands that give Grobbelaar cause for concern. Poynton, and it certainly wasn't deliberate by Lee. And it is Neil Poynton to take the free kick. And Hansen who concedes the corner. Pat van den Hauwe was steaming in behind the Liverpool captain. It might just pay Everton to hang the ball in close to Grobbelaar. And that's Sharp! Graham Sharp, who scored the winner in that very goal in this fixture last season. And the Everton striker climbed well there. Reed again. It's usually the players born on Merseyside who feel this match even more keenly than the others, if that's possible. Players like Sammy Lee and Steve McMahon, who of course began his career with Everton. And the referee, Joe Worrell, experienced enough to take the nature of the fixture into account when ruling on the challenges. But he didn't like the way McMahon went in then. It'll reach Trevor Steven. And the referee was running back to the middle thinking it was a goal. But it's a corner, it's the side netting. The roar from this side of the ground stayed really in the throat. Grobbelaar came and was nowhere near it. Steven. The nature of this fixture, it was surely that. And it ends with a drop ball, because that was the object of the attentions of players from both sides. And it's no time for a risk to be taken by an Everton defender. Poynton was well aware of that, with half-time beckoning. Everton have had rather the better of a goalless first half. Liverpool, it seemed, over-concerned about Bruce Grobbelaar's fitness, and they have defended rather tentatively in front of the goalkeeper. And Everton will feel that they should have had a penalty when Kevin Richardson was sent crashing when the ball was rolling towards the Liverpool goal line. But Mark Lawrenson got back and sent Richardson down as he did so to get the ball clear. Stevens. And Stephen determined not to be caught in possession, but in too much of a hurry. It's tackle after tackle rather than pass after pass. But Reid gets the better of Hansen. Possibilities here for Everton. Lineker's in the middle, so too is Sharp and Richardson. It was a genuine opportunity for Everton. Superbly created for Richardson by Peter Reid. And he knows the significance of the miss. Chances here, few and far between, but Everton had players over here thanks to the enterprise of Peter Reid. And Richardson, who has the goal sense to get into scoring positions, but on this occasion not the technique to finish it. Good control from Sharp, and good awareness too. Stevens galloped outside Trevor Steven, who used him as a decoy. Reid. Johnson is onside. Southall a little slow coming, but you can't fool the goalkeeper when he comes up with the ball. But as Craig Johnston was away here, Southall seemed to hesitate, then he went, and then he got it. Lineker, and Reid with a good angle here for a cross, if he can get the better of Gillespie. Richardson, now Alan Harper, Ratcliffe joining in, and Grobbelaar! My impression was that the ball was deflected slightly, but Kevin Ratcliffe, who's only ever scored one league goal in his life, comes up with one here in a Merseyside derby that he'll never forget, and Grobbelaar will want to forget, but will be haunted. "16 minutes left, and Southall at the other end has to be alive." Well, Grobbelaar went down, he seemed to have the ball, and it rolled out of his grasp. And that was a signal for Kevin Ratcliffe to leap into the air. And it's a sea of blue around Anfield. McDonald, and Rush gets the better of Southall, but not the third time, having twice just touched the ball away from the goalkeeper's grasp. Neville Southall had to come. Rush pilfered the ball once, then twice, but finally he snaked out an arm, did Southall. Beglin. Sharp wins it back. It's Everton voices that you can hear at Anfield now. Poynton. What can Liverpool muster? They're staring defeat in the face on their own ground against the old enemy, but they've still got Ian Rush. And Everton are grateful that they've got Southall. The Rush cutting edge is still sharp, and he nicked the ball away then. But Van den Hauwe was back to block, but it still needed some brave work here from Southall. Lineker. Can it be two for Everton? It is! A personal landmark for Gary Lineker amidst the passion of a Merseyside derby. He's achieved 30 goals in a season in club football for the first time, and he may well have put it beyond Liverpool's redress this time. In many ways, a definitive Lineker goal. Speed of thought and of movement, and Grobbelaar this time left with no chance at all.
Lineker off to sunny Spain. West Ham visiting sunny Goodison, with Tony Cottee playing away from home.
Tom McAllister has his first nervy moment at Goodison. Peter Reid is there, Gary Stevens is there. But you can well imagine that Kevin Sheedy might try and curl it round that wall. And here is Sheedy, and the first save of the afternoon by McAllister. Oh, and a dithery moment for him as well. Sheedy did well to get it round the wall at all then, especially with a man almost treading on his toes as he took the kick. That's where he's so dangerous. Build up here with Heath, and appeals for handball, and given as well. It was a stupid place in which to handle the ball there. Robson had no need at all to do that. Will he rue the moment? And again they're going to be tested by this swirling breeze as Sheedy drifts it in. McAllister's punch isn't a good one. How on earth didn't it go in from Clark? Well, Tom McAllister is having some really nerve-tingling moments here in these opening 8 minutes. Wayne Clark stabbed the ball forward, and it was just nudged off the line, but Tom McAllister is having a hectic period, and Sheedy's going to test him again. Now Reid. Oh, and Strodder missed kicking the clearance, but fortunately for him, he was able to complete it. And West Ham are really being penned back at the moment. Stephen beaten to it that time. Well, it really is one-way traffic, this. Nice skill from Harper. Now Clark. They just cannot get the ball out of their own half. And this is, I think, the first time that Neville Southall has touched the ball. Howard Kendall is always implacable. But he knows that Everton need the victory today. And they're living on their nerves back there, the West Ham defence. Great skill from Sheedy, and again. Now it's Harper. Reid's calling for it and gets it as well, as Robson really went in with a hard challenge there. Chance surely for Clark to score the first goal, and it's in off the post. Well, they're ecstatic, and Everton have deserved it. They've really carried the game to West Ham. It's only the second goal Wayne Clark has got since his transfer from Birmingham City, and it's the first he's got at Goodison Park, and how the crowd are loving it. It was a lovely build-up, all started by Kevin Sheedy, and then when he swept the ball inside, Peter Reid knocked it through the middle. The ball fell kindly in a way for Wayne Clark, but he took it clinically in the style that his elder brother Alan used to do for Leeds. What we don't know, of course, is just how big a part the wind is playing in penning West Ham back. And here's Peter Reid, who's trying to push them back further. And Peter Reid scores an exquisite goal. What a beauty! 24 minutes gone, it's Everton 2, West Ham 0, and Peter Reid's first goal of the season. It's 14 months since he got one against Tottenham Hotspur, and I bet he's not scored many better ones than that. Yeah, you can afford to grin. Watson. That could be a dangerous one for Strodder as well. He got underneath it, and Pong's, sensible old pro that he is, knew there was only one place to put that ball. So yet another corner, nicely done this time by Harper. Trevor Steven. Brady treads on the ball, it's just not going right for West Ham at the moment. Steven again, it came back to him twice there, still he's going. Now Gary Stevens! What a screamer! They're in ecstasy. And so is he. Gary Stevens got the winner against Charlton in the last home game, but surely he's never struck a better one than this. Well, Howard Kendall's still not affording himself a smile, but Gary Stevens there, when the ball came back to him, Trevor Steven first of all wriggled inside the penalty area, got a couple of lucky ricochets. When the ball came back, Gary Stevens took one look at goal and whacked the ball, and it fairly rocketed into the roof of West Ham's net. 3-0. And in the centre of your picture there, you can see that Neil Orr is all ready to come on. But here's Peter Reid for Everton, and a good ball here could put West Ham in even deeper trouble. Paul Power gets the corner. And surely West Ham will want to get Orr on, especially as you see there, that Jeff Pike has gone down now. He's picked himself up and Orr's coming on. How they need him. So he'll have to go into the centre of defence as sadly Gale was carried off. Pike's all right again, and the header across goal, and it's 4-0. Dave Watson is turning into a rout now. Poor McAllister, you've got to feel for him. He's had no chance really with any of the goals. Dave Watson's third of the season, and he got it from no more than a couple of yards out. As the ball came in from the corner, the flick on at the near post, and it was ideal for Watson. He had no more to do than just to slip it over the line. 4-0. Now Clark has done well, Stevens, and Bonds is going to have to dash back, and a real chance here for Everton. And they've not got it right yet. Power thrashes it into the crowd behind that goal. I think the cross there from Stevens was really intended for Adrian Heath, but when it went beyond everybody else, Paul Power was coming up, but couldn't hit the target. Harper leaves it for Ratcliffe. Hit it up there with that dependable left foot of his. Tries not to overhit it as well. Clark beaten to it this time by Strodder, but Everton have got it back with Harper, who'll find Stevens, as he's done so often this afternoon. His passing has been a delight, Alan Harper, and he's back in possession here now. Who's he going to find this time? Ratcliffe. And Neville Southall once again the only man back in Everton's half. Sheedy. Now Power. Oh, that's lovely football between Sheedy and Power, who's still here. Paul Power! Well, he nearly tricked his way through himself. And McAllister's so relieved to dive on that ball. Good skill from the former Manchester City man. Dickens got there ahead of Ratcliffe, but he's found only Paul Power. And the cut is in here this time, and has he got enough purchase on that bridge across the line? Did it or didn't it? Linesman says no. Brady appeals, but Tony Cott is so unlucky there not to have registered his 28th goal of the season. And when the diving header came in, that was off the mark as well. And that's certainly the closest West Ham have come. Tony Cottee almost profiting there. And the ball agonisingly cleared off the line at the vital second by Kevin Ratcliffe.
Hammers nailed there, and it's Peter Shilton, England's #1, next in the firing line.
Everton wait while Watson strides forward again, encouraging Stevens to throw it long. Watson plays, it wasn't the best clearing header. Heath's nipped in. Stevens looking for Sharp at the far post. Graham Sharp! Shilton thrust up an arm. The ball stayed in play, in fact, from Shilton's save. Now Snowden, given room to shoot. Ian Snowden from long range with a swerve that had Shilton groping. Given time to set the sights, Shilton got a hand to it. It was within his range, really. But Ian Snowden, not a prolific goal scorer from midfield, catches out Peter Shilton from distance. Pointon. Held over Ross McLaren, but Blades was just close enough to Sheedy to be the second line of defence. Watson, Sharp. Garner, that's a good ball. It's a terrific ball for G against Southall, who held his position, didn't commit himself, made G make the decision. That's tremendous goalkeeping. A genuine one-on-one situation, although Gary Stevens was making up ground on G, but Southall came out on top. Cross, G, free kick to Derby. The offender was Snowden. Everton have pulled everyone back. Callahan, and Southall didn't just stop it, he held it. With the wall covering the other side of the goal, it was where Southall would expect to make the save, but he made it look very, very spectacular indeed. Reed. Derby regrouping again, and Watson slips. Here's G. Garner's up with him. Andy Garner with the chance. And again, Southall's handling is expert. But yet again, this time through an individual mistake by Dave Watson, Derby launching themselves forward through G, who had the presence of mind this time to see Andy Garner. McLaren. Mark Wright is there. Steve Cross is there. And it was G when it seemed if he made contact, it had to fly into the Everton net. Derby really pressing now. G stabbed at it. Southall flailed at it, but it kept on rising, and Everton escaped. Heath. Sheedy's come into the middle this time. And Poynton, ever willing to join in. And the referee's given the penalty. Nigel Callaghan cannot believe it. On went Poynton, and he seemed happy to go down. The referee had no doubts. Derby feel hard done by. Trevor Stephen now has to take on Peter Shilton from the penalty spot at a time when Everton really need a second goal. And they have it! After 64 minutes. Stephen finding the corner, though Shilton went the right way. Poynton. Snowden. Comes all the way across for Reed. And on for Gary Stevens. And in for Adrian Heath, who got, as they say, on the end of it again, after a sweeping Everton attack, which he very, very nearly finished off. There would have been no chance for Shilton had it gone just inside that post instead of outside. Reed. He's not tired. Nor is Stephen. Well, that would have been a corker. There's no ban on long-range missiles here at Goodison Park. Sheedy, Snowden. Stevens. Shilton off his line. And yet again, Heath is frustrated. Instant shot. Well, that's the goalkeepers again. More bread and butter work this time. Oh dear. Well, Heath has been presented with a gift. Adrian Heath, yes! And that is a moment of great satisfaction, courtesy of Peter Shilton, but nevertheless, Heath kept his nerve. And Everton lead by 3. Fastening on to the poor clearance. Round the goalkeeper, back of the net. Adrian Heath, a weight off his mind.